All right, this is the spreadsheet activity that we covered in our webinar today. And so this is how you would build your data collection sheet for managing your classroom that we did. So the first thing you do is you name it class roster. This is a data collection. And let's say that I have a first period class, right? And so how I would do it is I would name it class roster. Name it just like it is on the title. And then here I put in student name. What I've learned is I can either do this on an iPad, or I can do it, or I can print these. And the way I like it is I would put the date down for 3 consecutive weeks. Let's just say that we're starting this in January. And it starts January, let's say 2nd through the 6th, 9th through the 13th, 16th through 20. That's what I would do. I would name it January 2nd. Then I would take the next 4 days, right? Then we'll start it again. Do the next 4 days using the fill handle. Okay, and then we'll do it again for 16th. All right. Now to take the columns, I would do this. I'd highlight all of the columns, and then I'd right click, and then I'd resize the columns. And right now it's set at 100. Let's try 50, see how it looks. A little small. I could do 75. And you'll find the range that works best for you. There we go. Need one more for the 20th. There we go. So you have your student name area, and then you'd drag that over. Then you'd copy these from wherever you have them in your iNow program. And let's say, for instance, these are my students right here. I would just take them and I'd copy them. And you've got them probably in a Word document as well. So you'd take them and you'd put them right in here just like this. There's all my students for first period. And then you're going to highlight the range of cells. And then we'll do all borders. See, looks good, doesn't it? And then I need my coding system. I always keep it in a reference because there's a lot of documentation I do. I can physically put a grade in here if I want, but also I put my abbreviations for my tardies and any kind of behavior issues I'm having. I let this collect it instead of putting it on legal documentation. I put it on a spreadsheet to start with. I'll flip over the page if I need to add more detail. So right here, I already have a class code 1 done. And I will take this and I'll copy it. And this is my standard class code. Now your class code can be anything you want it to be, right? So that's something to remember is you want this to sound and look as an extension of you. And I used to use this successfully in my classroom setting. So what I'll do is I'll highlight these and I'll center it. I'll even color code it a certain color off to the side. And there we go. So I print these. And the one thing I notice here is this is not centered. Remember, if you highlight a range of cells, you'll have a merge and center button right here. But don't let that bother you. Just click on it one time and then your center is right here. So now I've got my first class. And this is where you change the color of it. Right? So there we go. We have all my students, and then we have this set up. Now, when you do a landscape view of it, though, be aware that you want to flip this over into another view. So in your document details, this is where you're going to have it saved. And that should do it. So now your document is ready to go. I use this for a 3-week period. I'll print it out. And in that landscape view now, it will be allowed to be used. And then this gives me 3 sets of these. So I used to teach 5 classes a day. So this would be first period right here. So I'd rename this first period. And then I would make another one. When you make the second one, right, you would go in and you would copy this information again. You just highlight it. Okay. You'd copy it. And then you'd put it on sheet 2. See? You still have to go back and change your column, right? The width. You're going to have to do that. It's the only catch. And I got them on 75. There we go. That's that one out. There it is. So that would be second period when you click on it. This is where I name it second period. So the key is I could do this on an iPad if I have one accessible, or I could just print these and then transfer over the data later if I needed to. For years, I utilized this, and I taught many of my teachers at the middle school level this ability to be able to keep up and document tardies. I do attendance through this to start with. I would physically put down grades in here on the sheet and then transfer them over to the iNow program. So very advantageous to use a spreadsheet program. And I've had many teachers say, hey, come back and teach us a spreadsheet component. So this is the one place I would definitely use it, any grade level, for my own documentation and purposes. All right, and that's all there is to building a spreadsheet, using it for data collection in the classroom.